Just using GitHub, I'll show you how to take your portfolio website from boring to a guaranteed job offer. And I'll give you 3 tools to make the website extra spicy so that it will be impossible to ignore. So just kick back, get some popcorn, and enjoy, because this is going to be good. So you want to make an impressive portfolio website that you can put at the top of your resume. Let me show you how to do it just with GitHub. Let's get into it. So to build this website without having to host it on AWS or Firebase or anything like that, you're going to have to make a new repository on GitHub, and then you're going to name the repository the name of your website .github.io, and that's going to allow GitHub to recognize your repository as a website repository. Name the description whatever you may want to name it. Make sure it's a public repository, and then you can add a readme for any notes you want to include in the repo. Once we create that repository, we'll be able to go to the settings page. And in settings, on the pages tab, we'll be able to deploy our website from a specific branch. So we're going to deploy it from our main branch, and then it will recognize an index.html file that we'll create that will have the HTML, CSS, and any embedded JS functions that we want our website to include. So what we're going to do is add a file, create that index.html file. And it doesn't necessarily have to be called index.html, but that's usually the convention, and that's what GitHub will recognize. And I'll provide you guys with a template to use in this index.html that I'll leave down below. Just a basic template. This is going to be with my resume information, but you can replace it with yours. Name, the index.html. Also include in the description sort of your initial template, what it's about. And now let's see what our template looks like. If we go back to pages, now we see that our website is deployed. We can click on that and see our new website here. So you see it's split up into 5 sections: education, skills, experience, projects, and contact. Now, honestly, this seems pretty boring. It's like very clean and nice, but there's no animations. It's really, really static. It's kind of clear that, this didn't take too much time to design. So we have to spice this up. We have to add something to make this look cooler. So the first tool that you can use to take your website to the next level is CSS Snippets. Now, these are just small little improvements that you can make to your website to take the website and make it look just better and feel better. Animations, dark mode, and just slight improvements that will make your website feel more professional. And it doesn't take much. If you want to ask GPT to make this improvement to your HTML template, you should just ask for concise CSS templates, like a CSS variable theme switcher, glassmorphic card with hover lift, animated link underline on hover, responsive autofit grid, AOS fade in on scroll, and other improvements. Now, this makes the website look just a little bit better. Animations in the background, maybe some gradients. It just makes it feel a little bit more professional, makes it feel a little bit better. Now, the example I'm showing you, you can play with it. It doesn't necessarily have to look like this, but it just feels like maybe the person behind this website put in a little bit more effort. Now, I'm showing you a very bare bones version of this, but using these CSS snippets, you can take this HTML based website and just take it to the next level. Add that dark mode to light mode switch. It just feels more intentional, and that's what you want to show your potential employers. The second tool is chart.js. This is a way to include charts on your website to demonstrate to your employer what you're good at, what your strengths are, and what you're working on and what you're improving on. Chart.js has a very comprehensive website that gives you samples and examples of how to create charts, and their GitHub repository is incredibly helpful. This is an example of how you could use chart.js on your website. So at the top, I added this little animation that's not chart.js, but you see here the skills chart shows proficiency in different areas. If you want to demonstrate to your employer, okay, these are the programming languages that I'm really, really good at. These are the programming languages I'm working on. You can also use chart.js to create a timeline like this to show them where you've worked and when you started your degree, and so on. I also added this segment. This is not chart.js, but this is also another way to segment your projects and to show your employer's sort of what you're doing. And then also this GitHub activity chart is chart.js as well. And then I included this dark mode that you can also add. And then also another idea is to add a resume download button so that anyone who wants your resume can just download the PDF version. The third tool is adding games to the website. So whether this might be like a terminal style game where you're asking the person who's interacting with your site to like play a game, or some sort of CTF as I'm showing you up here, maybe some chess puzzle, just to try to engage your user and try to make them curious about who you are and what you're interested in. So for example, I like playing chess. I'm not so good at chess, but the opportunity to show your employer your passions is really important. A lot of times employers will ask, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do outside of work? They want to get to know who you are as a person. Now, you may be really good at JavaScript, you may be really good at Python, but having those engaging games that upgrade your website and take it to the next level can really allow your employer to learn more about you. You can see here that the CTF leads to some information. Now I just made some like little template here, but you can have like a CTF or a game lead to information on your site. Or for example here, this little CTF, I can include like a hidden encrypted flag in my website and then ask the user to find it. This is something a little bit more complicated. I don't know necessarily if an employer would engage in such a game, but it could be interesting. And then here, there's a creative way to present your projects might be to like use an on-theme design. So for example, I love like cybersecurity related projects. So I might use like a executables project sort of theme where each little project's an executable that you can click on. Another option is another game, sort of like every tree that you chop in this little game tells you something new about me or something new about your resume or something. That could be really cool and interesting. These are like simple examples that I whipped up really, really quickly, but just examples to show you how creative and awesome you can get with very, very simple HTML, CSS, JS. And I think that's what's so versatile about these GitHub Pages websites.